PewDiePie challenged himself to become as good as, if not better than, the art community over the span of 30 days, then 100 days, and now he has decided to challenge himself and see how much he could improve over 365 days, which is an entire year. But unfortunately for PewDiePie, his art progress has somehow struck a nerve with artists, making excuses saying, if you have any amount of free time you want due to being a millionaire and gifted genetics from your parents, then you too can learn to draw after a year of effort. I gave away my life for this and he draws like it was nothing. Good for PewDiePie and genuinely impressed, but I'm discouraged at the fact that I've been drawing for years and I'm still horrible at it because I'm a terrible learner. While others started leaving comments about PewDiePie and several controversial moments in his career. Isn't this the same guy who said the hard R? He should draw the iconic bridge moment. A shame that he's racist and a white supremacist. PewDiePie has had his fair share of internet controversies, but that didn't stop him from pursuing art and trying to improve harder than last time. Comparing his art from the start and after he completed his 100-day challenge, it's safe to say he's quite decent for a person stumbling around and trying to find their way with art. So let's see how much he improved after deciding to focus on art for an entire year.
Day 1. A self-portrait? Is that beer?
I think every artist can relate to these early drawings from PewDiePie. We all started out with pretty bad drawings. Regardless of how much you improved along the way, we all started out making bad drawings, and that's totally fine. It's part of the process and what makes everyone unique, but still yet the same. Because when you go back and look at your early drawings and compare that with your current drawings, you should be able to see some improvement and be proud of yourself, no matter how small the improvement is.
Here's when I started to look up tutorials and stuff online. So you think it'd be better, but they all kind of look like they have some sort of allergy. Like they ate a lobster and they have a seafood allergy. The chin is very big. I probably would have made it something more like, I wonder if I can fix this. I feel bad for future past self.
Oh, that's cute. Him being able to see the mistakes he made earlier on is a clear indicator of making progress in your art.
But after 30 days, this was the progress of my first video. I was so happy with it, and I think I should be, because the progress is definitely there. So this is my progress after 82 days, 84. And I really think here's where I peaked in terms of if you wanted to just improve as much as possible in the shortest time.
Now this is where it starts to get interesting. As PewDiePie started getting closer to drawing for 100 days during his challenge, his improvement was now getting clearly obvious, especially when you place the drawings from day 1 beside this one. Even comparing the drawings from day 30 and these ones, you can tell he made a good amount of progress for someone who just started out drawing.
So let's check the progress from there on. That's wrong. First of all, don't do what I did. I just kept drawing the same things. Anime girl, too much anime.
I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong in drawing anime girls or having an art style that looks like anime. Although what I'll suggest is instead of drawing the same faces over and over, you could practice doing turnarounds of the head from different angles and then slowly transition into drawing the torso and then the arms and every other part of the body. Practicing drawing each body part from different angles will make you so much better at drawing from your imagination and even drawing with reference if you have to.
Get into. Yeah, just sketching random stuff I find online. Finally, I move on and I draw boys. This is the boys arc. I drew so much guys from anime because I thought I drew so many mangas. You probably recognize these. I think this is Jujutsu Kaisen.
So it seems PewDiePie was drawing a lot from all the anime he was watching and was basically just copying the poses and faces from whatever inspired him to draw, which is a good way to practice. But a better and faster way to practice will be to break down each pose into shapes and then solely focus on using simple shapes for the poses before then trying to learn anatomy and the muscles. Once Once you understand how the shapes translate into each pose, drawing the muscles over them will be so much easier as you progress. A good book to learn this is Michael Hampton's Figure Drawing Design book, and you can also pair it with Simplified Anatomy if you're trying to learn anatomy and how to see the muscles as shapes. Bonus book is TB Choi's Character Design Art book. That's a really good book as well. I'll leave the links in the description to all of these books.
Another thing was that people said I had an art background. That was like a rumor that went around, and I guess I take that as a compliment, but no, I do not. I have not studied art. That was the whole point of this video. I was not being disingenuous. I have not drawn since I was a kid, but I loved doing Photoshop. Before YouTube, I loved Photoshopping images.
This was also something I saw a lot of people mentioning in the first video I made. People kept on assuming he had an art background or had done art before or something, but according to him, he just drew a little bit when he was a child, which I'm guessing all of us did. Would you then call that a background in art? I don't think so.
But I think the biggest sort of thing that helped is that I'm actually older. Like, I'm 35 now, and I think if I did this thing when I was younger, I would not have seen the same improvement. But I also think, you know, the improvement I had, anyone can achieve. Like, I wanted my video to be inspiring for other people to do the same thing.
Wow. Well, I believe this is enough proof that age has nothing to do with how much you can improve with your art. As long as you're dedicated and practicing consistently, you're definitely going to see some form of improvement.
So I bought this pen. This pen is amazing. It's a brush pen, and if you squeeze it, ink comes out, and you can draw really slim lines or really thick lines really quickly. And I told myself I was gonna force myself to use this pen, even though it looks like shit. I was gonna really, like, I'm gonna use this pen. I need to learn how to draw without the whole circle thing again.
This is a good form of practice, especially if you're struggling with line confidence. Drawing with a pen forces you to choose carefully and think about each mark you're about to put on the paper, since once you place that mark, you can't take it off or erase it. So you have to think carefully about the proportions and the shapes of the forms you're trying to draw in your head and try to visualize it on the paper. Really good practice. You should try it sometime. That is if you're ready to see how truly bad you are.
It felt like taking 100 steps back, but that's how you have to improve, you know? You have to get out of your comfort zone. It's still so hard with proportions, man. Like, anything is slightly off, it's gonna suck. So yeah, this felt like a little side quest, but I'm glad I took it. And yeah, it was really fun.
I think so far we've seen a lot of heads and faces, and for the most part, it looks like that's all PewDiePie has been drawing. I want to see him practice other things like hands and feet or muscles of the back or something, but we'll see.
Finally, after, I don't know, 300 days of drawing, I picked up an art book. I should have done this ages ago. So I picked up a couple art books, some more technical than others. I picked up books about perspective because I want to learn and I want to understand this. And I think finally that clicked in me. It went from me just wanting to sketch whatever to, no, I actually want to understand these things so I can draw them better. And I wish I did that sooner.
Art books are very important if you're really serious about improving your art. And I know some people say they're overrated, especially when you mention Andrew Loomis, but there are still really good art books out there, and you're literally just one Google search away from finding a book that could change your life. Well, it can't directly change your life, but at least you'll learn some things from it which could then change your life.
To show for it.
Wow, that actually makes a lot of sense. Progress isn't a straight line. Sometimes you may feel like you're in a downward spiral and everything seems to be falling apart, but in the end it all works out for good and you'll get over whatever it is you're struggling with.
I drew a full body one, and I'm like comparing it to my 80-day one, and I'm like, the 80-day one is still better. Even though it's just like full body, it's still better.
Okay, first off, this drawing looks look pretty good. I think I actually prefer the full figure to the face. Well, of course, the face will look better because he probably took his time and tried to color it perfectly, and he was already pretty comfortable just drawing faces. But drawing the full figure is new territory to him, so it's normal not to be confident in your drawings at first until you then get the hang of it.
I think I wanted to learn to draw and actually understand anatomy. Before, it didn't matter to me. It was just a hobby, but now I'm like, I want to actually know, like, how do you draw legs?
Welcome to my in-depth tutorial on drawing thick, juicy legs, PewDiePie. You see, the thing about drawing legs is you have to consider the shape and flow of it. There are no parallel lines when drawing legs. Each line flows into the next. So you start off by drawing... Sorry to cut you off there, but if you want to see me finish that tutorial and show you how to draw legs like these, then go subscribe to my second channel.
I really did push myself a lot towards the end here. And that's when I bought an iPad. Coming in clutch last minute. Super satisfying to draw with a pen on an iPad. But obviously it was way different. So again, it was like a last minute learning curve of me not understanding the program and yada yada yada.
I'm sure there's going to be people making fun of PewDiePie for buying an iPad when he can't even draw comfortably on paper.
Oh, he has money and time. That's why he can do whatever he wants.
So I started off just sketching, and I was still too scared to draw bodies. I drew this, which I thought was going to be amazing, and I ended up really hating it. I think the colors are fun, but I didn't know how to draw hair. I at least tried to draw like a full body, but I was so scared of getting it wrong that I think I just made it look weird.
Okay. It's not the best painting I've seen, but it isn't entirely bad. So far, I'll say he indeed has potential and will likely do so much better given time.
So I practiced drawing hair, but it's just like nothing interesting about it. This is just to try it out.
The hands. You need to practice more hands, Felix.
And then I thought, okay, I'm gonna really wow you guys. I started the line work. I tried my best to draw the actual hands. This is gonna be so good. And this is the end result. And I genuinely hate looking at it. I've looked at it so much, it just pisses me off. In my head, it was going to be so much more, you know? And then you look at it and you're like, oh, cool. That was it, huh?
Yeah, it looks muddy. It looks muddy, that's why you hate it. The line art was really good, but somewhere along the line, the colors just stopped working, I guess. It looks like he ended up going a little too dark in the shadows, which just made the entire painting look muddy and out of place. It's also missing a little bit of color contrast and warm and cool shadows. There's decent light direction, but the shading isn't following the forms to show how they sit on the face, which is what makes everything look so out of place. But it's a decent attempt anyway.
I desperately tried to draw something else because I don't know, like I felt like I could do more, but I kept drawing and I couldn't. Like it just came out looking weird and unsatisfying. This was supposed to be like the most simplest thing ever, like black high contrast with some color. Still, I didn't like it.
I think a good way to approach painting with color is not to start off painting with color. You need to understand values and lighting and form first. Then you can start practicing with color and slowly carry on what you learned from values into your use of color. There's so many artists that teach this, but some of my favorite are Mike Azevedo's tutorial on color and light. Sam Nielsen also has good tutorials on color and light, and you can also get the color and light art book from James Gurney. It teaches all the principles of color and how light affects it. And then you can take all that knowledge and start practicing painting fruit on your desk and painting some of your favorite movie scenes.
But I still felt like I could do more. So I sketched for a couple days and I told myself I'm gonna give one last effort. I have to really like it to actually sketch it. And this is the last thing I drew. I finished it yesterday and I think I'm finally happy with it.
I think it's not bad. He definitely improved with his painting. There's some surface scattering going on and some lighting from above, some catch lights on the hair. Pretty decent. Good job, Felix.
I think for a year progress, yeah. Am I allowed to be happy? It took a lot of paint to get there, you know? Like, let's compare. Day 1, day 365. I don't know, maybe Maybe you guys disagree, but I feel like I finally beat my 80-day whatever. This is still better. I don't.
So it's safe to say PewDiePie has successfully stamped his mark or left his footprint in the metaphorical sands of time of the art community and has become one of the fastest artists to improve, going from drawing like absolute dog shit on paper to making digital art close enough to get him a paid job offer working for Genshin Impact. Anyone can repeat the same steps he took and improve in their art as well, as long as they're consistent with it and learning the right way, which is from carefully picked tutorials and art books all tailored to what aspect of your art you're struggling with and trying to improve on at that moment. But of course, we have some genuinely concerned individuals on the internet who believe PewDiePie is cheating and hacking human nature because apparently he's rich and has all the time he needs to draw and do whatever he wants, unlike other beginner artists who are struggling to make ends meet, which is undeniably true to an extent. But of course, I wouldn't expect you to just up and quit everything you have going in your life just because you want to pursue art and try to improve, especially if you don't have any savings or a backup plan if this doesn't work out how you expected it. I think you need to have at least a certain level of comfort if you want to pursue art, because you're going to spend a lot of time, a lot of brain power, and your mental health is definitely going to be in shambles along the way, so you should be prepared for that as well. It doesn't mean if you're bombarded with work or you have a lot of things going on in your life you can't take a few hours or a couple of minutes to draw in your day. That could also work as well, as long as you're doing it consistently over a period of time. Money, on the other hand, doesn't have much to do with how quickly your skills will develop as an artist. Buying every new drawing tablet that comes out every year is not going to make you draw better if you're not practicing the fundamentals. So does buying expensive pens and pencils. Start practicing with whatever is available to you. Focus on following a structured study routine that has you learning each of the fundamentals of art over a span of months, and slowly try to improve on one part of your drawings at a time. PewDiePie's art journey shouldn't make you want to quit art or discourage you from trying to be a better artist. Instead, use that as motivation to become even better. If PewDiePie can learn art from scratch at 35 years of age, so can you too, no matter how old you are. As long as you're practicing consistently and showing up for yourself and holding yourself accountable instead of beating yourself up for no reason, you will become an even better artist than PewDiePie. All it takes is time and some good old-fashioned dedication. Well, it looks like we've made it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like, share this video with a friend, and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. With all that being said, I'll see all you pretty penguins in the next video. Bye.